2026 appropriation bill, House of Representatives set to kick off budget defense. Senate condemns recent attack in Katsina, commends President Tinubu and security agents for prompt intervention. Also in the news, House Ad Hoc Committee on Power intensify oversight on power plants and distribution company across the country. Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliament News. I am Abubakar Galadima. We will start today's bulletin with the 2026 appropriation bill as it's set to undergo thorough scrutiny through budget defense sessions in the National Assembly. Specifically, the House of Representatives has adjourned plenary for 2 weeks to give lawmakers time away from plenary to interrogate the estimates submitted by ministries, departments, and agencies of government. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen joins us now to feed us with more insight into the budget defense process.
Many thanks, studio, for joining me. The budget defense is a significant aspect of the oversight function of the Nigerian legislature. It allows parliamentary committees to scrutinize the budget proposals of ministries, departments, and agencies of government before funds are allocated. Lawmakers look into the budget performance of the MDAs for the previous year, while also looking at the estimates and budget proposals for the next fiscal year. I have joining me on set at this time Representative Salisu Majigiri from Katsina State to give us more insight into the mechanisms of the budget defense process. Thank you for joining us on Parliamentary News.
Thank you.
Can you let us into what specifically lawmakers look into in the budget defense process?
Yeah, very well. You know, as lawmakers, one of our constitutional responsibility is the issue of budget. And when Mr. President laid an estimate proposal that the budget before the joint sitting of the House of Reps and Senate, from there the Senate and the House of Reps will sit and then assign that responsibility to the Committee on Appropriations. So when that is done, the Appropriation Committee too will wait for the committees to go and sit with the MDAs, as is Ministry, Department, and agencies of government, to scrutinize by inviting the ministries, department, and agency before the various committees of the House to defend what Mr. President has laid before the National Assembly. In that process, the members may raise questions on issues. Maybe they are not clear or they are not explicit. After that scrutiny, the committee will write a report and then send the report to the Committee on Appropriation, where all the reports will be compiled and ensure that all things are okay regarding to what the ministry, department, agencies depend before the committee. So after that, the Appropriation Committee will bring forward the report before the House, and the House will consider and pass the budget at the level of House of Reps, and then the Senate will pass their own too. After that, there will be able harmonization to ensure that no gap is left in any part of the ministry, department, agency's budget. So from there, it will be passed and then take it to the President for assent, and that is the end of the budget process. Then the implementation will begin. So when the implementation begins, and the House will also oversight what was approved in the budget to see to the implementation of the budget by the executive. Because when the budget is assented, and that one become law. So whatever you did contrary to what was provided in the budget, you are violating a law, because by the assent of the President is already a law. That law must be respected. Whatever is in the budget is already a law. So that is budget. It's one of the functions of the legislatures, apart from representation, lawmaking, and what have you.
All right. I would also like you to tell our viewers if there are mechanisms or expertise as lawmakers that help you to detect if budgetary estimates or figures are inflated, considering that, we don't have all the resources and you want to avoid wastages?
The House engaged some services of the consultants, experts in many fields. And, there are some experienced lawmakers who have been in this House for over 20 years, some 12 years, some 8 years. So we have an experienced hand that will help dictate any issue that is not correct, that is not in order, that is not in accordance with what Mr. President laid before the Senate and the House of Reps.
All right, thank you very much. That's Representative Salisu Majigiri from Katsina State giving us insight into the budgetary process and the process of budget defense. I also know that as lawmakers, they will be looking to ensure that the estimates align with national priorities and, more importantly, the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians. It's back to you in the studio.
Senate has expressed worry over recent security breaches in parts of Katsina State in which several lives were lost, including personnel of the Nigerian police force. In a motion of urgent importance, Senator Muntari Danduse laments the killing of residents of local communities in Funtua Zone and other parts of Katsina State within the last couple of days. Senate commends President Tinubu and security agents for prompt intervention and called for establishment of military barracks in the zone. Lawmakers also advised local communities to resist internal collaborators who undermine national security. The House of Representatives has commenced investigation into the concession of all federal air and seaports terminals as well as other related shipping activities carried out between 2006 and 2025. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikman reports that
the federal government's decision to concession key national assets, including airports and seaports, was to modernize infrastructure and improve service delivery as well as revenue generation. Nearly 2 decades after the commencement of the concession arrangements, the House of Representatives says a comprehensive review of their outcomes is necessary, following complaints of operational challenges and systemic gaps within the concession framework. Kolawole Akinlayo, who chairs the ad hoc committee, hints that the investigation will focus on compliance with applicable laws and revenue performance, among other critical areas.
We will also hear from the users of the system, labor unions, freight forwarders, airline, shipping operators on operational realities and service outcomes. Independent experts, auditors will be invited to provide objective assessment of the economy and governance impact.
We envision ports that are efficient, corruption-free, digitally driven, investor-friendly, and capable of supporting Nigeria's ambition as West Africa's logistic and maritime hub.
Nigerians deserve to know whether these concessions have enhanced national competitiveness, protected public assets, and contributed meaningfully to the economic growth, employment, and revenue generation.
Agencies expected to appear before the House for the investigation include the Nigerian Ports Authority, concessionaires, Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Nigeria Customs Service, the Bureau of Public Procurement, and the Nigeria Shippers Council. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Ad hoc Committee on Power Sector Reforms is advising electricity distribution companies to address lingering power outage and ensure value for money for consumers. This was during the assessment of power plants by the committee in the Southwest Zone. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabi Ali reports.
More testimonies continue to emerge as the committee scrutinizes documents submitted by distribution companies. Issue of estimated billing and non-compliance to national metering program were raised.
If you are to convert the total indebtedness to equity, certainly most of the discourse, most of the key core investors, the 60% stakeholder, will be vacated.
Thereafter, members inspected some facilities at the substation of ECO, calling for technology-driven system. The committee was at the Ikeja Electric and Ebin Power Plant in Ikorodu, contributing to the national grid with the installed capacity of 1,320 megawatts. Discussion centered on the interventions made by government and how power can be improved for national growth and development.
In terms of innovation, you have gone a long way and you have really demonstrated that you are out to do the business.
Inshallah, we participate together to make Nigeria great.
We believe constructive engagement between policymakers and operators is essential to addressing the structural and financial challenges of the sector.
The investigative oversight continues. From Lagos, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
We have the Chairman, House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on Power Sector Reforms, Ibrahim Al-Mustafa Aliyu, to speak further on the ongoing parliamentary oversight. The Ad Hoc Committee has visited two zones, South-South and South-West. What is your intervention on the present collapse of the national grid?
The procedure of the House entails inviting all the necessary stakeholders to make submissions, which was done from 17th November. And we just commenced the second segment of fiscalization, going to see for ourselves the actual situation on the ground. And we mapped out a procedure for that. We started with the South-South zone. We are at Benin, Sapele, went to Wari, and then from there we move on to Lagos. We have seen both the private plants that were privatized and those retained under the Niger Delta Power Holding Company. In Lagos, we also visited Egbin Power Plant. We interacted with Ibadan and Ikeja and Eco Discourse. And the next maybe the visit will be to the southeast, northwest, and another to the south, where we'll cover the Port Harcourt, Calabar, and Akwa Ibom axis. So far, there are a lot that we have seen, but it's very important that we understand that the sector is driven by three major components: the generation, the transmission, and the distribution. All have challenge. Some of them are doing very well, some are lagging behind.
Shortage of gas supply to boost production has been identified as a major constraint against federal-owned power plants. What is your take on this?
I must say that the previous government have done very well putting up those plants. Those are very huge investments. Very, very huge investments. And, those plants still have capacity, but they are limited. They are constrained by, the issue of gas supply and even the issue of limitation in what they can produce. But as I've said, I am not going to preempt our report, but there are a lot that we have seen, and we believe even those under the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, the plants, have the capacity to do more, even under government. So there are a lot that we have seen, and I think at the end of the day, we are going to produce a report that will reflect on the interest of Nigerians than any other interest.
Customers are complaining of estimated billing charges for meter installation, among others. Any measures to address this?
What is required is the generation enough that the nation require for development, and then the ability to will, to evacuate and transmit, and then the ability from the side of the discourse to uptake. Then on the side of consumers is the affordability and the purchasing power. This is what leads to all these complaints of theft, shortchanging here and there, because The discourse are complaining of theft. Electricity theft through bypasses because Nigerians cannot afford. If you look at the band regime that were introduced, only those that are under band A are not being subsidized with energy, but all those B, C, D, they are being subsidized with energy because the cost-effective tariff is only paid by those under band A. So, but to solve all this and to free national finances, you have to work towards getting more energy available, getting cost-effective tariff low and affordable, and then increasing the purchasing power of Nigerians. That will take time. If Nigerians could not afford, then definitely the issue of energy theft will remain. Most of the customers will prefer an estimated billing because they feel that's the only way they can be able to cut corners and afford electricity. Rejecting meters. Whereas with meter, you can be able to regulate your energy consumption and reduce it to a barest minimum of affordability. But even at that, the tariff is high.
Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Power Sector Reforms, Ibrahim Al-Mustafa Aliyu, many thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
This is NTA Parliament News. We will take a break. The news continues shortly.
From the 36 states of Nigeria to the legislative chambers where laws are made. Laws that shape healthy living, developmental strides, and challenges. Do you know that your future begins and lies with your state legislature? Stay informed, stay educated, stay connected, and stay empowered. It is a weekly affair where we keep you abreast with legislative stories that matter. From the state assemblies, only on NTA Parliament. Join us via DSTV, GoTV, StarTimes, and free-to-air platforms. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. The 10th Ogun State House of Assembly has called for enhanced legislative independence and improved executive compliance with Assembly resolutions. This was at the plenary to commemorate Ogun State 50th anniversary and the second anniversary of the Speaker Oludaisi Elamide in office. State Assembly correspondent Yemi Dalemo reports that the Speaker also reviewed the achievements of the legislature at the Medium Parley in Abeokuta.
The Ogun State House of Assembly has paid tribute to the founding fathers of the state, including the first civilian governor, late Chief Olabisi Onabanjo, whose legacies continue to drive the state's development. The commendation came during a special session marking the second anniversary of Speaker Oludaisi Elemide's leadership and the 50th anniversary of Ogun State's creation.
Mr. Speaker, we really achieved a lot during your time, particularly in the area of the constituency projects.
50th anniversary of our dear state, Ogun State. I want to thank God for this milestone. Ogun State is one of the top states in this country today, and I pray that we continue on this trajectory.
Honorable Speaker, we always proud of you because the opportunity given us the other day by talking to this cabinet made them unite as a father, and having this opportunity bring it to the side. Today, the naval base is also coming to my community. The coastal road is coming to my community. Almost 4 things is coming in this.
I want to congratulate our state, Ogun State, for being 50. I'm glad that Ogun State understands what we call equity, fairness, and justice.
We will continue to partner with the executive arm of government to achieve the best for our state. Mr. Speaker, permit me to congratulate us as our state attained this milestone of 50 years anniversary. It is the celebration of resilience. It is the celebration of the effort of our forefathers. It is the celebration of the sacrifices of our forebearers, starting from that noble Ijabuma.
Lawmakers reaffirmed their unity and commitment to effective lawmaking while appreciating Governor Dapo Abiodun's support for the legislature. Speaker Oludaisi Elemide said the 10th legislature has in the last 2 years passed over 12 bills with 8 others at various stages and adopted more than 60 resolutions across the state.
It involves conflict resolution, and it goes deeper and further than even the law. You only bring the law into form when something is happening. But resolution, if we pass the resolution today, we will make sure all concerned stakeholders are served and are given. And it has yielded a lot of results.
He identified challenges such as funding constraints and lack of full financial autonomy, noting that plans are underway to digitalize legislative operations and strengthen quarterly oversight for improved performance. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
We will be joining Yemi Dalemo, who covers the Ogun State House of Assembly, to speak more on the role of the state's legislature arm of government in the last 50 years. Hello, Yemi. Thanks for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. 50 years of democracy in Ogun State. How will you describe the celebration and role of the state legislature so far?
Over the past 5 decades, the Ogun State House of Assembly has played a stabilizing role in democracy through effective lawmaking, oversight of the executive's representation of the people, and passage of people-oriented laws that have supported governance, development, and accountability across the state. For instance, in 1979, a member representing Ijebu-Ode State constituency, Bankole Okua, moved the motion for the establishment of the first state university in Nigeria, and that was the Ogun State University. That bill came through, and we have the first state university in Nigeria. This university is now known as the Olabisi Onabanjo University in Agronwoye. It means the Ogun State House of Assembly, since the creation of the state, has been contributing their quota to the development of democracy and the people of the state. Now, at 50, the Ogun State government organized an interfaith prayer session where we have dignitaries across the state, including the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, who come together with leaders of the state to celebrate and to pray for the development of the state and express appreciation to the founding fathers of the state for thus far the Lord has taken Ogun State. And when we look at the challenges that have faced the state or are still facing the state, we have a number of challenges still facing the state. We have the infrastructural deficit, we have the youth unemployment, we have the revenue generation, and we have the need for improved service delivery to match the state's growing population, among other challenges confronting the state. It's now over to you, Abu.
Thanks a lot, Yemi. And now to Kaduna, where the State House of Assembly has passed the bill seeking to empower the College of Education, Gidanwaya, to award degree certificates independently without affiliation to any other institution. Noura Isa reports.
During plenary, lawmakers received a report on the amendment of the law establishing the College of Education, Gidanwaya, from the Chairman House Committee on Education. The majority leader moved a motion for the adoption of the report. The motion was seconded and subsequently adopted by the House.
The report is hereby adopted.
That the focus and the main aim of the bill to enable the college to have what we call a dual mandate system of education, where both NC program and degree program will be running concurrently by the school without any affiliation from any college.
The amended law provides for a single tenure of 5 years for the college management, replacing the previous provision of 2 terms of 4 years.
Tenure is just 4 years of 2 times, but now it's single term of 5 years. That's the new trend. Almost all universities and colleges of education or post-secondary education, the head of agencies, campuses, or colleges do run 5 years single time.
Also, bills seeking to establish a state electricity regulatory commission, a climate change council, and an agency for the provision of social security in the state were presented. These bills were referred to the relevant House committees with a directive to submit their reports on Tuesday, February 10, 2026. From Kaduna, I am Muhammad Isa, NTA News.
That's our package this evening. You can follow us for news updates on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thanks for watching and do have a great evening. I am Abubakar Galadima.